coming up. We sick. But you know what? We gonna talk about stuff anyway. Hit the music. It's podcast time. I'm Al.
And I'm Michaela.
And welcome to the Why You. That's nice. I like that. Podcast.
I had to go low.
That's fair.
Can't hit nobody.
I went low
today.
too. First of all, I'm not really sick. I'm not sick, but Kayla and AD are sick. So
our nose are real stuffy. And we
riding on a huffy. That's a short bus shouty reference for those of you who do not know. It still exists on the tube of you, so you can Google it and find it for yourself. That was nice. Anyway, Welcome again to the YU podcast, the number one podcast for people who are not sick. Yeah. But maybe number one podcast for people who are. It's the number one people for everybody. It's for everyone.
Nobody.
Sickness and in health. Till death do us part. You are married to us now. Yes. Where am I going?
I don't know.
You could tell we haven't done it. I got more to say because we didn't do an episode last week. So now I'm just throwing these zappers out there.
It's okay though.
Yeah.
And if I cough in the mic, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all should be used to it now.
That's right.
Announcing my cough. But this time, like before, it's like a dry cough. But this time, it's like a cold allergy. I don't know what it is. It ain't COVID though.
No, it's not.
That test was negative. So it's just like a summer cold, and it's just not cool.
Kayla did go get tested, COVID tested, when she started feeling pretty bad.
I like to be sure, y'all.
Yeah. So Kayla started Friday, Friday evening.
Saturday when I got off work.
Saturday. And then
today is Monday.
Carried over. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
It really, man. AD started getting it yesterday, and now his nose is the fountain of snot, and I hate it. And then
before that, our nephew had it and passed it to my mother-in-law. And then they both got better, but now it's passed us. So now we got to make sure it don't get passed back.
But
so we gotta protect everybody.
I've got the immune system of the gods, you feel me? I rarely get sick, but when I do get sick, I get sick.
Knock on this wood real quick.
Knock. Because, I mean, I have some flexibility with what I do. So if I were to get sick, I could do what I do. I could do some of what I do from home. Mm-hmm. So it's not all bad. Mm-hmm. So, I've been able to take care of y'all to the best of my abilities.
A personal nurse. Like, he's been telling me to sit down somewhere. Because that's one of the main reason why I got sick, because I'm always on the move.
Kayla don't know how to sit ass down somewhere. That's the short end of it.
And sometimes I be working my off days to accommodate people. So last 2 weeks, I ain't had an off day.
Your body was like, oh, you want to keep playing with me?
I'll shut you down right now.
Go ahead and
sit
get
down
that.
Somewhere.
Go ahead and get that cough. Get that plague.
So what happened? Like all day yesterday, like I could see. I couldn't even go to church. I couldn't sing. I had to lead a song, but I couldn't sing nothing. So I had to rearrange some things because the way I sound, like I couldn't do nothing.
And then Kayla had the audacity to still try to get up and do stuff. She's like, you need anything? What you need me to do? I need you to sit down.
I need me to fix some breakfast. Sit down somewhere.
And then you still cook breakfast.
I mean, there ain't nothing to throw the oven on and throw some biscuits in there.
You're right.
I ain't had to do nothing.
Because we don't even get the biscuits that's in the little tube. We get the biscuits that's in the bag. Throw them biscuit discs on in the I don't mean to make you laugh. I gotta watch for that.
I gotta cough for it.
But seriously, they are biscuit discs that you throw.
And they be so good and moist.
Yeah.
Moist.
Once we take them out, they got that little crunch to it though.
And you throw that butter on top, and then we had some down-home sausages in the air fryer.
Yep. And then I made slow-cooked ribs. They came out pretty clutch. All I really did was season the ribs, put them in a crock pot, and then douse it in barbecue sauce.
That thing. It tastes good, too.
Yes, son. No. Okay. I told him no. He sat down anyway. You can tell he don't. You said you was gonna sit down. That's not sitting down. Go back over there.
You just gotta be quiet, okay?
So you got to close the door though, because I hear the show. You know how we do. We put on the show for him, but when he's not feeling good, he gets extra lovey. He's already a lovey child, but he gets really, really clingy. And yeah, so now he's gonna be in here. So
my baby,
we're gonna do our best to get through this episode for y'all. One, because we miss you. Two, because we got to keep putting out this good content for you. It's wrapped around the thing,
right.
So if you keep moving, it's going So, was that a little catch in my throat?
Don't speak that.
Let me go ahead and take this this Alka-Seltzer before I go to bed.
Yep, that's all you need.
Anyway, so we are going to discuss some current events because there are some things that's going on that we have opinions about, and we really want to express those opinions on this podcast of ours. So the very first topic that we're going to discuss is we have an Olympic. She would have been an Olympic champion, but she had some marijuana and got tested for.
Well, you can't say would have been because she still got the opportunity to do it.
Well, I'm talking about as an individual. I was kind of building up to.
Oh, let me not mess up your chain.
Yeah.
Do what you do.
So she was going to be an Olympic champion, but tested positive for marijuana, for cannabis, for THC, and has a 1-month ban that she'll be able to still run in relays after that ban is up. But you know how these things are. So let's get into it.
Yeah, so Sha'Carri Richardson, she's from Dallas, 21, attends LSU, and she was suspended for 1 month for being testing positive for marijuana. Now you were saying what you were saying, you was like she can't be an Olympian no more.
No, I was saying she can't run in the individual 100-meter race, but after the suspension is up, she could
like the 4x100.
Yeah. Okay. So,
because I don't really know how that split up, so I don't understand. I mean, it's not like I don't understand it, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not deep into the Olympics like that. So she can't do it individually. She can only do the 4x100, and that's the group thing.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna read this.
So when they do the individual one, that's they doing that before her suspension is up.
Yeah, let me read this. This is from NBCnews.com. Says Richardson failed a drug test following her Olympic qualifying 100-meter race victory at the U.S. Olympic Track and Field Trials in Eugene, Oregon on June 19th, according to the United States Anti-Doping Agency. Richardson's competitive results obtained on June 19th, including her Olympic qualifying results at the team trials, have been disqualified, and she forfeits any medals, points, and prizes, a statement from the USADA said. She accepted the 1-month period of ineligibility that began on June 28th. The agency said while the suspension takes Richardson out of the running in her signature event at the Tokyo Games, she may still have a chance to run the 4x100 meter relay. So even though they say, hey, she can't run her individual, they're not even saying she's a lock to run in the relay. Okay. Athletes who test positive for a substance of abuse, which THC was newly classified as in 2021, usually receive a 3-month suspension if they can establish that their use of the substance occurred out of competition and was unrelated to sports performance. The thing about the Olympics, and there's been things that the Olympic Committee has been doing lately to kind of push athletes of color. They've made it pretty difficult for them to compete in certain things,
right?
Or they've put bans on certain drugs. I think in this particular situation, I don't know if you know like the backstory of why she ended up smoking before.
Yeah, she already like smoking marijuana, but in this instance, she was coping with the death of her biological mom.
Yeah.
And they had up and down relationship too. So it was just like a lot of emotions going on. 'Cause, the interview she did with the Today Show, she was like, that doesn't excuse, what I did, but just to let y'all know this is what happened and this is what led to it, basically.
The thing that a lot of people kind of, or they are choosing to forget, is that she didn't find out from a family member. Someone from the press during her press conference told her. And first of all, that's a messed up way to find out. And second of all, how do you cope from that? Like you have all these lenses on you, all these flashing bulbs, all these people asking you questions, and you find out your biological mother passes away, and people just expect you to cope. And I don't necessarily, how I feel about marijuana. The whole, we are, we use it to, or not we, but the government and people in charge use it to lock up certain people. And they lock up people in our communities and in people of color communities. But the alternatives are like opiates and pills, which are known to kill people. There's an opiate crisis. We lost Prince to opiates, but they would rather push that because it's regulated and they can make money off of it instead of legalizing marijuana and all of its benefits that come with it. I mean,
instead of legalizing it in every state.
Exactly. So I don't know. Tell me what you think. Cause
I get what you're saying. Like, you feel like they holding marijuana over people's heads when it should be a drug that should just go ahead and be legal in, every state, because it has a lot of, things that people can benefit from, but they still hold it over people's head. And it's like, no, this is terrible. Can't do this. And then they try to say it's, what you call it? Like, it doesn't enhance. It's not like a performance enhancer type thing. Like, I don't know. So they just hold that over people's heads and all that stuff. So
Seth Rogen said something funny. He was like, if marijuana enhanced people's abilities to be a sprinter, he said he would have been the fastest man on the planet. And it's true. I mean, it has any drug can be abused, just like alcohol is abused. It can be. People have these impulses to overuse something, but if it's used properly, then it has benefits. My dad uses it to help with his PTSD because when he was on antidepressants, it made him suicidal. It made him very depressed. It pushed him to that ledge and almost pushed him over it. So I don't necessarily think that holding this against someone and knowing the circumstances is right. Now, props to her because she took full responsibility for what she done.
Right.
She didn't make any excuses. She didn't want anybody to feel sorry for her. She was like, honestly, she pulled one of those things where she was like, I should have. No, it's a joke that people do on TikTok where it was like, my mother died. Yes, I knew my mother died. Like, it's my fault that I still kind of decided to use something that is illegal to cope with a situation, but I still should have never done it. So it's like, okay, good. So I'm hoping with all of that, her stepping out in front of it and doing what she can, when those 4x100 relays come, she'll be able to race.
Right, because whether this came out or not, because, everybody was like, well, she was on a ultimate high when everybody was like, not like literally, but like when everybody was praising her for, her accomplishments and all that stuff she did. And then this came out and then it was just like, okay, what happened then? So like everybody was judging all of that in 1 week. That still doesn't take the fact away that, she's talented. And was she like the 6th fastest, female?
I think so.
Yeah. So like you have all these accomplishments and like you're doing all this, so that still doesn't take, away from that. Like she's still able to do a whole lot. She's only 21. So like she can put this behind her.
Yeah.
I mean, they let Michael Phelps do all this stuff and
I was just
they put that behind him. So
Michael Phelps, known like he had no issues telling people like that. He used it to cope, but he was still able to swim and win all the medals at the Olympics and become one of the greatest swimmers of all time. Nothing really happened with him, and it honestly, it goes to show how the playing field is never level. It always changes. The goalpost always moves. Mm-hmm. One thing you may not know is there are some black women who will be swimming at the Olympics, and they were using it was different kind of caps to help with their hair.
Well, it's different. It's swim caps, but there's certain ones you got to use to protect your hair, because I recommend some of them to my clients when they have protective styles.
Yeah,
and they tried to disqualify them for that, or did they? Or
they didn't. They said they couldn't. They couldn't use those caps.
Yeah,
they had to use because they say it gives them a competitive edge. And I'm like, I don't know the aerodynamics. What do they
even mean by that? Gives you the competitive edge. What you trying to say? So they trying to say the swim cap gonna make them swim faster?
Honestly,
and you can't wear it.
Yes,
because if anything, if they don't wear it, that's gonna slow them down, because then the hair gonna get in the way.
But I guess is whatever caps they were using aren't regulated, so they have to use the ones that the Olympic Committee lets them use. And
they always find an issue with everything.
Always. And it sucks because these people, these women, these men of color get disenfranchised over something like that. They can bounce back from it. We always take guts and make them chitlins. You know how we do. But I don't know. It gets to a point where you don't want to continue to fight anymore, and you kind of give up. Mm-hmm. And it's not right. But I'm not running. So I ain't gonna worry about it. I'm not.
Oh, I know.
Even when I had my youth and my strength, I wasn't running. But I think that we need to destigmatize what marijuana is. Some people have lost people to marijuana because of like driving under the influence and things like that. Mm-hmm. But I think like
what?
It's frustrating because it can help so many people in so many different ways. And we are still looking at it as, it's a gateway drug. The war on drugs is not working, and it's 2021. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
different approach has to be taken.
Yeah, anyway. It just frustrates me because I don't understand why but people continue to do things to hinder other people because they believe that they have a higher moral compass than everyone else. Mm-hmm. But if you ever noticed that the people who are always looking down on others about the things that they do and their coping mechanisms and all of that be the ones they're doing the biggest dirt. They just haven't got caught yet. Like Lance Armstrong, known cheater in the cycling world. Mm-hmm. But back when he was on top, he used to point fingers at other people and admonish them and make it seem like they were the cheaters when he was the biggest cheater in the history of cycling and lost everything because of it. So whenever you see somebody pointing the finger, blah, blah, blah is not doing this. So-and-so is doing this. They're the ones
pointing the finger right back,
doing the most dirt. I don't know. I'm sorry. I mean, because it's like I try not to get upset about certain stuff, but I continuously see these things that human beings do to one another, and I don't understand why. Like, as long as people are not getting hurt, as long as people we're not adversely hindering someone else, or like we're not changing them mentally because of perversion or something like that. Let people live their lives. If I found out my mother passed away from some random stranger on the street or somebody from UNT that's a student that came up and was like, I heard about your mom. I hope you're doing okay because she died. Like, wait a minute. How do you know this and I don't? What would I do to cope? It wouldn't be marijuana. It'd be something worse. It'd be whatever I can get my hands on. Hand me the bleach or something. I don't know. We gotta leave each other alone not alone, but like let people live their lives.
Because everybody gonna judge, and it's like, why? Who are we to judge?
Who are we to judge?
Who are me?
That's why I honestly don't like. I might make a joke, and it sounds like I'm judging them, but it's really a joke. I really don't judge people because who am I to judge? You know,
like the old folks say, I ain't got a heaven or hell to put nobody
exactly.
in. I can't judge.
I mean, speaking of people who like to thumb their nose down at somebody, no, we gonna talk about Bill Cosby. Because like I said, the person who would always look at the black community and say y'all doing this and blah blah blah, but was out here drugging these women and having his way with them.
Putting it in the pudding pops.
That's a good one. Putting in the pudding puffs. Went to prison for sexual assault, but was released on last Wednesday, after Pennsylvania's highest court overturned his sexual assault conviction, saying the disgraced actor's due process rights were violated. The stunning decision in the case of the man once known as America's Dad reverses the high-profile celebrity. It's going to fling out. Let me help you.
No.
I got you. Let me help you.
Okay.
Kayla, she was like, I want to move this thing, but it's not working. Anyway, so let me continue with my newscaster voice. The stunning decision in the case of the man once known as America's Dad reverses the first high-profile celebrity criminal trial of the #MeToo era. The panel of Pennsylvania State Supreme Court judges said in their opinion that a former Montgomery County District Attorney's decision to not prosecute Cosby in 2005 in return for his disposition in a civil case was ultimately used against him at trial. So, William Baines, what's his middle name? Who cares?
I don't know.
William Cosby is now out of prison. I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to read through the full article, and that was from CNN.com. But Bill Cosby's now out.
Yep.
And how do you feel about it?
I mean, I'm
blaming it.
the whole. You gonna blame what?
No, I was gonna make a joke. Go ahead.
Oh. I mean, the whole situation is crazy. It's like, okay. I mean, I don't know how many amount of people came out about, what he's done to them. Or like they always say, allegedly done to him. Do you know how many?
Child, it's so many. I have not more counted. Than 20? Man, now I got to look it up.
Okay.
Because now I got to know. I definitely more.
Right. I mean, because I know one person came out and then, more people after that. And, excuse me. And then I really didn't super follow it as it was out. Like, I just know that, different people have their different stories, and some people were thinking like it was truth to it or not. And like I said, who are me to judge? Because I don't know the situation and who did what and what happened. So, if he did do what he did, then, I mean, some type of justice should have been done. But then he's also older too. So then people would be like, well, he shouldn't be in that type of jailing if he's this age because, he an old man, basically. So, and then if that's the case, then how do you proceed with justice with that? Because would you do that to everybody else? Or are they just saying they'll do that since he's a celebrity? So,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't do the same thing if this was Uncle Joe from down the street, 80-something years old and did all these things to some women back in the day. They would be like, all right, you're going to jail. So.
Well, I think the reason why, because the part of the article that I read was saying that he had a disposition in 2005 where he admitted to drugging women. So did that
ever come out publicly?
Yeah, because that was used against him in the trial, and that's what actually got him convicted. But there was apparently it was like this running, it's not a joke, but this running thing in Hollywood where everyone knew he was doing it and no one was doing anything about it. So
just like the whole R. Kelly thing, everybody knew R. Kelly.
Yeah, it was like everybody knew he was doing it, but then the moment where it's like they start to put it in the forefront and investigations were actually done, people were like, "Oh shit! Like this is actually
like, no,
pretty
I'm not gonna
bad."
work with him anymore. Or I'm pulling my song from this, but it's like you knew he was doing it when I made the song. But okay,
exactly. And it's like, I'm gonna pull this up too because it's actually I'm gonna add to it. I think he should have stayed in prison because, first of all, to take advantage of someone with your status, with your ability to help someone, and you use that to prey on somebody and knowing that they won't come forward because of who you are is wrong. Right. That's not something you should ever do. And it constantly happens in Hollywood, but there's only certain people who actually get caught. Not caught because they do get caught, but it's more like they are the ones where the spotlight is shined on them and someone does something about it.
Well, they did go in on my girl Felicia, though.
Yep.
Because she had tweeted about it. And then it's crazy because the next day she was starting her position at Howard as a dean of fine arts. Yep. And so a lot of people sorry, go ahead.
So she sent out a tweet.
Oh, you about to say the same thing I was talking about?
Yeah. But I'm gonna read from an article. This is from Yahoo News. The day before, her first day, like you were saying, she sent out a controversial tweet in support of her longtime TV husband that said, "Finally, a terrible wrong is being righted. A miscarriage of justice is corrected." This prompted critics and Howard students to call for her resignation. So, okay. There's a lot to unpack with that situation.
From her tweet?
Yeah. Because she's supporting someone she's known for decades. Whether she chooses to believe the allegations or not, she's supporting a friend. But with her position at Howard and what she's able to do, not giving power to the victims shows that sometimes misogyny within our culture is so deep that there are things that happens in people's homes, their families, and other family members will just be like, well, I mean, we just not going to talk about it. Right. And it's a known thing in the Black community where we don't discuss sexual assaults that happen within the family. It just,
people sweep it up.
It ain't happened. Yeah. So in this one, it felt the same way. And then it's like, well, how can you be the dean of an entire program, an entire school program,
and this is how you feel?
Yeah.
So then in that case, like Black women, won't feel like they're supported, or just women in general too, won't feel like they're supported. And so that's kind of a rocky start for her to start off like that, because now they're sending a petition around to make her not dean of fine arts. So it's like,
if she could have any unfortunate situation happen on that campus in that school and someone bring it to her attention, and they'll automatically think, well, she's going to squash it. She's going to hide it because she did it for her friend, or she's looking to overlook it for her friend. Who's to say she won't do the same thing
for the school?
Just to make sure her status stays where it is.
Right.
What were you saying?
I said, and I hate that because I love me some Felicia.
Yeah.
And then when I read that, I was like, oh, Felicia, no.
Yeah. It's like, if you feel that way and it's a high profile case and there are some facts that have come out during the trial, you should probably keep that shit to yourself.
Right. And the climate around it. And you're about to start this new job the next day.
Yep.
Like, okay. Just keep that between you, Bill, and the family, and whoever else.
Exactly. But it does go to show, if there's one thing that I've seen, if you say anything out of line, or if you say anything that people don't agree with, they come after you. And they'll say, well, you shouldn't have this because you believe differently than I do.
Well, I guess it's a lose-lose situation too. Yeah. Sometimes if people say stuff, they go after you, and then when you don't say stuff, they go after you.
Yeah.
Because then they'll be like, you're too silent.
So it's like you want people to step forward and say something, but it's got to be what you want to hear from them, so then you can be satisfied. If you're not satisfied, then you will go through great lengths to make sure that this person does not succeed from that point forward. And I think, if the Howard board of directors wanted Phylicia Rashad to go somewhere, they would do it. Mm-hmm. But the mob culture is extremely strong, and people make mistakes. Mm-hmm. This goes back to what we talked about before. People should be allowed to make mistakes. In Phylicia Rashad's case, not Bill Cosby, because Bill Cosby didn't make a mistake. He was just being a monster. But in her case, she said something that was misguided. So, maybe enlighten her a little bit more. She may be choosing to be ignorant, but at least say something instead of, well, you don't deserve to have your position. Or
they can just set up like a panel, maybe, so people can discuss how they feel. And she can say how she feels, so everybody can kind of be on the same page.
Exactly.
Before she goes into this position.
But she does seem like the old school kind of woman where this is what I think, and I don't care whether you agree with it or not. This is my belief. And that's perfectly fine. It is. Gotta let people believe what they want to believe.
That's true.
Now, Bill Cosby, though, he just needs to go ahead and die.
Don't say that.
If you think about it,
death on people.
Well, I don't. Okay, that is kind of harsh.
Yeah,
but monsters don't deserve anything. Mm-hmm. They don't deserve to have freedom, and for him to be free on a technicality. I mean, I don't think they can charge him again because that's double jeopardy. Mm-hmm. So unless another court overturns it and he has to return back to prison, he can't go to trial for the same crime, or at least for that one particular crime. So I don't know.
And then with him being out, this would be like a situation where that person's guilt will basically eat at them.
Yeah.
If he has any guilt.
I was going to say if he has any guilt, because if he felt that way when he did it the first time, he would have never done it again. But sometimes when you get to that level and that stature and you're able to do anything that you want freely, there is no guilt. You're it grows. It grows.
When you high on power like that, that's what happened.
So there's one other thing that I want to talk about. It's something you might not have heard about. Do you know who Rachel Nichols is?
No.
She is a sportscaster on ESPN who pretty much worked her way up to...
Should I Google her?
Yeah, go ahead and Google her. She's someone who worked her way up to become pretty much like the face of the NBA on ESPN. And last year, with all of the Black Lives Matter movement and all that, they moved her from hosting the pregame show and the halftime show. Okay. Yeah, that's her. To moving her to the sideline reporter and being the one to, when they would come back from commercial, she would be the one to be like, if someone got hurt or give updates and stuff like that, it'd be her. Mm-hmm. And I pulled it up, but then I'm getting ready to pull it up. So she made some comments back in July of last year about being moved from her position to sideline reporter and giving it to Maria Taylor, who is African American, and she now hosts the pregame show and all that stuff on ESPN. Mm-hmm. And the audio was pretty bad. Like it was bad, but it was pretty bad. So she was saying to somebody? Yeah, she was talking to let me go up. I want to read this. So according to the New York Times, and this again is from Yahoo Sports, Nichols made these comments in July 2020 after ESPN told her that Taylor, who is black, would be hosting coverage of the NBA Finals instead of her. Nichols sought advice from LeBron James's longtime advisor on a call that was reportedly accidentally recorded because Nichols hadn't turned her camera off. During the call, Nichols can be heard saying that she feels like Taylor is only being promoted over her due to ESPN's long and terrible record on diversity. So this is her quote. This is what she said. I wish Maria Taylor all the success in the world. She covers football. She covers basketball. If you need to give her more things to do because you are feeling pressure about your crappy long-time record on diversity, which, by the way, I know personally from the female side of it, like, go for it. Just find it somewhere else. You are not going to find it from me or taking my thing away. Now.
So she's saying the only way Maria got it is because of ESPN lack of diversity, not because of her talent.
Which they have been called out for in the past. Mm-hmm. Like, absolutely. I want to read a little bit more, and then I want to get your thoughts, and I want to tell you mine. So the New York Times reported that the call was recorded and stored on one of ESPN's servers, which numerous employees have access to. One employee recorded it with their cell phone and sent it to others within the company, who then sent it to more employees. The call was eventually leaked to Deadspin and the New York Times. Thus far, that employee is the only one to be disciplined over the incident. The employee that shared it, the first one, nothing else happened. As Nichols said to the Times, that ESPN told her that the content of the conversation didn't warrant any discipline, and
they saying didn't warrant any discipline from her.
For her.
So they only disciplined the person who shared it.
Yeah,
they didn't do nothing to her.
They didn't do nothing to her. So, this is your first time hearing about the situation. Mm-hmm. So, giving you just that basic information, what do you think?
Well, I think, like, first off, I mean, they should have addressed her because she's the one who said the statements. And if they were going to do that, like, they could have had her, like, come out and, say to the world what you was basically saying in that message so that you can basically tell the people how you really feel on a bigger platform. Mm-hmm. And then why discipline the person who sent it out when they just sent out something that she said that in her mind was truthful?
Yep.
So it's like, if y'all gonna do that, then discipline them both.
It's my understanding that the employee that shared it just happened to be a black female.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yep.
Wow.
She brought it to Maria Taylor's. That was her name, right? I want to make sure I said her name right. The anchor that she was referring to in her statement. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Maria Taylor. She brought it to her attention. Mm-hmm. Because that's something that we do. If someone says something,
be like, "Girl, somebody said something. You seen this? Let me search."
Be like, I won't put this on your plate. You need to understand what you're dealing with. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
Since then, has Rachel said anything publicly about her statements or no?
Pretty much, like she said, the whole I'm shaking about someone.
Shaking?
Yeah.
Shaking about what?
You want me to find her statement? Let me hold on.
Oh.
Look at you.
She rattled? But you the one that said these statements. What you rattled for? Or shaking?
Okay. So Nichols, who said she was shaken that a fellow employee would record and share a video of her private hotel conversation, gave a statement to the Times along with responses to their questions. In response to questions from the Times, Nichols said she was frustrated and was unloading to a friend about ESPN's process, not about Maria. But she added, my own intentions in that conversation and the opinion of those in charge at ESPN are not the sum of what matters here. If Maria felt the conversation was upsetting, then it was, and I was the cause of that for her. Nichols says she reached out to Taylor to apologize through texts and phone calls. Maria has chosen not to respond to these offers, which is completely fair and a decision I respect. Let's see. So, you okay? Okay. So
the fact that she's shaken because it was released, not shaken by anything that she said. And okay, yeah, that was a private conversation, but your true feelings and thoughts were in that conversation, which happened to rub Maria the wrong way. Now, I hate when people like so-called apologize and be like, sorry if you felt this way, because that's what it sounded like. Like, I'm sorry if I offended you. And then so I'm going to reach out to you. But no, Maria's like, I ain't about to answer that because that's some BS, which I get it. I feel like what?
No, I'm sorry.
What you about to fix him out to say?
No, go ahead. I want to give you the opportunity because I'm ready.
Okay,
but
yeah. As I wrap this up, yeah, basically, like I get why Maria don't want to answer or respond to that because really that was like basically a half-ass apology.
Yeah.
So you didn't apologize for what you said. You just sad and shaken that it was released.
Right.
And I hate when people do that too. You're only mad because it was out, not mad of the content of what you said.
Yeah. Now, my opinion, I see both sides. I always see everyone's point of view as to why they feel the way that they feel. In Rachel's case, she worked her way up to get to that point. And she felt slighted by ESPN because ESPN is known to hold certain people back that they don't necessarily feel deserve certain spots. So there have been other black women who should have filled that role, especially after Stuart Scott, because he was the one he had all the NBA duties. And then when he passed away, they had to scramble to replace someone, which they couldn't do because Stuart Scott was the man. Like when you saw ESPN and NBA, you heard and saw Stuart Scott's face and voice. That's how that worked. So she worked her way up from the bottom to get to where she was. And then with everything that was going on last summer, and whenever, there was diversity lacking in all the companies in the world, especially the media companies, people started to say, hey, why don't you have more black people that aren't former ball players in these roles? So then ESPN pretty much put a Band-Aid over a gash wound that needed stitches and was like, well, we'll just put her here. And Rachel, knowing what they were doing because they lacked it beforehand, felt frustrated and just voiced her concern and voiced her frustration about having something taken from her that ESPN should have been working on in the first place.
Right.
And she said, and the thing is too, because sometimes you'll say something out of frustration and you'll be like, I have no issue with this person that is being put in my spot. It's not them. It's the people in charge that is putting them in that position to slight me. So I get that.
So you feel like that was her argument?
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing against you, Maria, but I'm just mad at ESPN for doing this.
Yeah.
But in the same token, it still kind of slighted her because it's saying like, you don't really have the credentials to be up here where I was. So that's why they put you up here because you black.
Yeah.
So that's why it's still kind of a good punch.
That's why I see the other side as well, because these companies, these businesses have to do better before situations happen. People like, I would always say as a supervisor that I never deserved the spot that I got, but that's just me being me. It has nothing to do with the fact that I'm black. It just has to do with the fact that I'm good at my job and I can talk to people that, I want to say it right. I don't talk to people out the side of my neck. I talk to people like they're people, and people respect me, so I can, whatever the company needs for them to do, I can relay it in a way that doesn't make it seem like they're not people.
Right.
So, but if I had gotten this job and I was terrible as a technician, I was terrible at everything. I got there late and they promoted me anyway. That would have been because of they needed. You were terrible? Yeah, if I was, and let me stop. Dang, what was I saying? If I had gotten it because of that, because there weren't a lot before myself and another supervisor got promoted, there weren't people of color in those positions. And then when we got promoted, it was like, okay, so now we're rounding everything out. So it's good. So, but these other companies have to start doing better with diversity, and not just because someone's black. There are phenomenal people being held back that do more than everyone else. So yeah. Anything else you want to add before we start to wrap this up?
On that topic or another topic?
Honestly, that topic, any of the topics that we touched on, anything that's on your mind.
I done got how I felt about that one. Excuse me.
The coffin show.
Be quiet. Anyway, I do want to touch on Auntie Tabitha Brown.
Oh yeah.
Giving a nice read to Wendy Robinson. I mean, Wendy. What's Wendy last
Wilson.
name? What's Wendy? Wendy
Williams.
I said Robinson. You talking about Wilson?
No, I was saying Wilson Wenderson.
Wendell. Anyway, so Wendy on her show came for Auntie Tab because Tabitha had made a video about her being ready to retire her husband who'd been with the LAPD for 15 years. And he supported her dream while she was trying to do everything with acting and, you know, stuff worked out, stuff didn't work out. And now it's on the up and up. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, you supported my dream. I want to go and retire you from LAPD and support your dream because he got a nonprofit and he coaches basketball and stuff too for the kids. So, and plus she don't want her husband getting dressed up every morning with bulletproof vests going out there in them LA streets.
Especially them LA streets.
Right.
And they find out who your wife is, you got a target on you. Well, that's a double target at that point.
So she's like, okay, I got it now, and I'm about to retire him. So anyway, so Wendy had touched on it at her show, and she basically said, well, you know, that's good for you, but the marriage ain't gonna last because of that, saying they're gonna have marital issues because she choosing to retire her husband and thinking that he gonna like ride her coattails, which she don't know nothing about their marriage and what goes on and all that stuff. Anyway, Auntie Tab got her together, okay?
Respectfully as well, which is, it's a lost art to be able to tell someone off without telling them off
in a nice, beautiful, blessed way, and basically told her, I hope love finds you and hugs you real tight and all that stuff, but this is what's going on in my marriage and we got a strong marriage basically. So she basically read her for her rights and basically said, stay out my marriage, right? We got this over here. I hope love finds you and I'm gonna retire my husband and we're gonna be happy,
especially since old Willard had a messy divorce, right?
Messy divorce and had a baby. He had an outside baby and stuff on and everything. So she think because her divorce was messy and nasty and he did all kind of crazy stuff on her and they worked together and so they gotta like split stuff and all that stuff now. Then everybody else gonna have the same situation. It ain't gonna be the same for everybody.
So Wilbur projected her own
situation.
Yeah, on somebody else. Now
and she be coming for people thinking people ain't gonna come back. It's 2021. People gonna come back now.
Yeah. Let me say this first. What? So the running joke is that Wendy Williams is known to be very messy. That's pretty much what her career is based off of. So the running joke in the black community is that she's secretly a man. Now, it's wrong because it's homophobic and things like that. But when you continue to push this narrative of negativity, you receive it back in some way. So whenever I call her a male's name, that's why. It's not because I think she's a man, because she's not. And even if she was, like, it doesn't matter. Really, it's just the joke of calling her out this way instead of trying to be really, really nasty back to her, because that's pretty much what she does.
And she's shaped like the little P. So, but Auntie Tab got her together. Yes. And what they call them people now? The Tabbage Patch. Something like that. I was like, oh, that's cute. Just like B got the Beehive, she got the Tabbage Patch.
But I think Wendy, she's never going to change how she is. Right. She's a millionaire because of her style of talking. You know, started out on the radio, now on television, and just stirring the pot of mess.
The nice, nasty scoop.
Exactly. So, because of that, she could have done something better. I mean, people project their insecurities onto someone else constantly. Every chance you turn around, someone is saying you can't do something because they're afraid if they were put in that position or tried to do the same thing that you're doing, that they would fail. Right. So,
but it's crazy because even like the reaction she had got from her audience, I feel like her audience was like, "Oh, girl, don't touch on Tabitha like that." Because at first when she had brought up Tabitha's name, people in the audience were like, "Ooh, yeah," da, 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 da. And then she was like, and then she explained the situation, and she was like, "Let me tell you something, girls, it's not gonna last." And you hear people in the audience like, "Oh, it's like, don't come for her." Don't do it.
But that's the thing, like. first, Tabitha and her husband, their whole dynamic. Tabitha is now in a position to be able to do whatever she wants to do. Mm-hmm. She'll be able to host. She'll be able to do whatever.
Right.
So the money is coming in, and her husband made a sacrifice in order for her to get there. So now she's like, it's not even like a full retirement because you told me he's doing the nonprofit. He'll be coaching. Like he's not going to be sitting at the house.
I want you to follow your dreams. So he's going to be following his dreams of, because she was like, you can't be creative doing a 9 to 5 all the time. And,
you cannot be creative.
We talk about that all the time.
You cannot be creative.
She was like, he would come home, he'd be tired, so he couldn't do the creative things he wanted to do. And she wants you to be creative.
You cannot be creative on a 7 to 5:30. You cannot be creative. But no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah. I just had to get out. That's me projecting my frustration.
I know. It's crazy. But I'm like, because then this was like a good subject for me because like I followed them, before all this too, and I like seeing their dynamic and then watching their YouTube show Tab and Chance and stuff, which they can't do no more because they're busy now. Yeah. But I used to watch it when they used to come on, and they used to just talk about their dynamic and how they started, which is cute to see them now on Black Love Doc because then they talk about they start and like where they at now. So when Wendy came for her, I felt some type of way.
Of course,
I was like, I feel like that's my auntie through the TV. So yeah,
it's. People love to look on the outside and say, oh, well, you shouldn't do that. Again, he's not retiring early. He's just retiring from being a police officer.
If he was, that wouldn't be an issue too, because what works for them works for them. Yeah. And people can't judge everybody's marriage or relationship because the same thing that works for one person don't work for the next. Yeah. They got to do what works within their realm and what makes them happy. And obviously, whatever was going on with Wendy's stuff, it wasn't working and wasn't, panning out. But she can't put that anger that she had within that situation to everybody else. Like, oh, girl, that ain't going to work. Y'all going to break up.
But people don't know how to do that. Like, we are now in an age where, like, even with us, we share a lot of our relationship on the podcast, and someone can listen to it and judge it from the outside and say, oh, well, I wouldn't do that. Or if I was Michaela, I wouldn't be with Al because of whatever, or vice versa. But it's easy to put your opinions out there and to be heard when it's readily available because of social media and the internet. But what happens is, because people are unhappy in their situations, instead of it being like an opinion, it turns into something much more dark and sinister, and it becomes more hate and vitriol towards a person you don't necessarily know. Because I'm certain that Wendy and Tabitha never really crossed paths with each other. It's just because now that Tabitha is a public figure and everyone knows who she is because she built her way up. Right. Now she becomes a target because for whatever reason, well, I know what the reason is, but whenever there's one person on top, apparently people think there's only one mountaintop when in the entire world there are millions of mountaintops, so people can have their own mountaintop over here, and they're not even worried about what you're doing over there, but you feel threatened because their mountaintop might be just a little bit taller than yours. Right. So you got to knock them down because you feel like they don't deserve it.
Or if you're appearing to be happy or people see you happy, they're like, let me sprinkle this over here, dim your happiness down just a little bit.
Let me put just a smidgen of doubt in your happiness because, I mean, I'm not happy, and if I'm not happy, no one deserves to be happy.
Trash.
It is. It's very trash. Honestly, I do hope for Wendy that someone will love her. But when you've been damaged for so long,
get into that self-love first.
Well,
like she gotta love herself first. Yeah. Looking within Wendy before somebody else can like love her.
I do wonder if she were to find that and to go that route, would she stay successful? Because, people don't like change. They don't like if you're nasty. Take Eminem, for example. Eminem did certain types of music for so long, and then he went to rehab and got better. So, he doesn't rap about the same things like he used to. And people will say that he fell off. Let mommy wipe your nose. People will say he fell off. I mean, that's an opinion. People should be allowed to evolve and grow. But if you're still expecting them to be the same person that they were even 6 months ago, you're putting your expectations on them instead of actually allowing that person to evolve over the years.
Right.
Well, man, I am
just
dropping these.
Knowledge.
We haven't even hit the what you call it yet.
Spend that knowledge. The what? What you call it?
I wasn't gonna say nothing because we about to get into it. So let's get to the weekly motivation. The weekly motivation to get all of our lovely fans through the rest of this difficult week.
Weekly motivation.
Best of wives.
Listen to Joe Biden.
I was like, what does Joe Biden have to do with any of this? And I was like, oh.
Joe Biden. No, listen to your body.
Listen to your body. Someone is named that somewhere, by the way.
Body.
Can you imagine they gotta come in? I'm sorry. I don't mean to take your whole thing, but somebody is supposed to come into the house before the street lights come on, and they don't make it in, so they mama step out on that porch, they step out on that stoop. Jabari! Better get your ass in this house.
Jabari Jenkins, get in here.
I know that ain't the street light. The street light not supposed to catch you outside.
Jabari. Okay, anyway.
That's going to be our next Sunday.
Jabari.
Oh, boy.
Go get it. Okay. Anyway.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Listen to Jabari.
Yes.
In other words, listen to your body. Okay? When your body tell you to slow down, it's really telling you to slow down. So when that happens, you got to sit down somewhere.
Yes.
Like the old school say, sit down.
Sit down.
And actually take help. When people offer help, take it, because I'm one to preach to myself, because sometimes I don't like to accept help. But Al kept on, asking me what I need yesterday. And it was hard for me to accept it. But I finally did, right? I finally listened, and I sat down, and I got me some good sleep and some good rest with all my fluids and orange juice and all that good stuff. And you cooked and I ate and got some more rest. So I'm going to continue to do that. Listen to my body, slow down, give myself a lot of time of self-care and rest to get back on the grind, so that I can service my clients fully with a full mind, body, and spirit and soul, because I got to fully be able to run my business. So I got to take care of myself first. And I also need people to understand that out there, okay? I'm talking to you, my awesome, amazing clients, but I can't do everything. So y'all got to, give me that time to myself as well. All right? Sometimes I have to fight with Michaela about not answering phone calls and text messages at certain times of the night, because sometimes clients be hitting Michaela up and we be having family time and they think that their emergency is pertinent, and that frustrates me because I'm like, our schedules are busy. So the time we spend is precious, and you got to answer text messages. These are not business hours. Right. Okay. So you felt that, didn't you? Anyway, listen to Jabadi. He knows the right Forex trading to do. So join his Forex trading class. Okay. Anyway. That sounds like somebody who would be in Forex trading, Kayla. I mean, he probably would. Send you a friend request. Jabadi Jenkins, Forex trader. Yep. New York. Join. I can show you how to make $100K on Forex, baby. Join my class. Only $399.99. Anyway, numbers about your body. Okay. So, I got a backstory for all of mine. Oh Lord. So today, we had to get there was a pretty sizable crack in Kayla's windshield. It's been there for forever, and in order for us to get our
registration up to date for that vehicle. We had to get it fixed. So I dropped the car off since I was off today for the colonizer holiday. Sorry. I dropped the car off at State Life and they said it'd be about 2 hours. So since we're really only down to one vehicle and I can't use my company vehicle off of company time, I started walking around Arlington, and I wasn't far away from Arlington ISD administrative building. So there are not a lot of places where you can go sit down, and I didn't want to go to McDonald's because if I go to McDonald's, I was going to get a double cheeseburger and it was going to mess up. Shut up. But so I walked there and I sat down, and it hit me that the last time that I was at that building, I was let go from my job at the school that I worked at. And it just kind of, this was 2.5 years ago because I was let go in January of 2019. And it's July of 2021. And I was like, I remember sitting there not knowing what I was going to do because I had that job for 1.5 years. And I was like, you know, I didn't want to go get like another job, anything that was strenuous. I didn't want to go into food service or customer service like Walmart or anything like that. I didn't know what I was going to do. And to be back in that spot as a supervisor at a job and working on my dreams on the side when I can, it brings everything full circle. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you have to go back to those low moments that you have and look back at how far you've come from that point to where you are now, to be able to appreciate the journey and the growth that has happened since then. And the fact that, you know, not only am I where I'm at now, but I felt really inspired to do more. And it's really more for my dreams and goals, because this past weekend, we've been watching Superstore, which I should have watched from the beginning because I loved it.
I started watching. That's my show, right?
It's hilarious, but it's my type of sense of humor, and I was like, man,
that's why I knew you would like it.
Yeah, you know me so well.
I know.
The comedy club is opening up in September, and I had inquired about being an intern again and starting to take more classes like I was before. Mm-hmm. But when I got the application, I didn't fill it out right away. I was like hesitant. I was like, man, like, I don't know if I got it. I don't know if I could ever be funny to that level. And this was maybe a month ago. Mm-hmm. And then we're watching Superstore, and I'm like, my type of comedy is out there, but the only way I'm going to get there is if I actually put effort into it. So while we were sitting there, I filled out the application and I sent it in. And I was like, the only way I'm going to actually try to get there is I have to actually do something about it. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying all of this to say, appreciate the journey that you have been on. Look back at your lowest moments and see the growth that you have over time. And then when it comes to your dreams are possible. I said that to you in the text message. I said, I am a powerful being. And when I was saying that, I was thinking, if I can make it to where I'm at my job, if I actually put effort into what I want to do, I can actually achieve the goals that I want to achieve. Exactly. But the only reason why I'm not there is because I allow myself to say that I am not good enough or that I don't have certain things when I absolutely have them. I just have to get out of my own way, which is a recurring theme on this show. If I got to get out of my own way, you got to get out of your own way. Mm-hmm. All of you that listen to the show can go where you want to go. You just got to allow yourself to go there. We thank you so much for listening to this episode with all the coughs and gaps in thought processes.
It's okay, though.
It is okay, because you know what? You get sick sometimes. It happens.
Okay.
We're still teaching him to cover his mouth when he coughs, because he just be... I'm telling you, if I end up getting sick...
I think he wants to say hello.
Oh. Hey, say something.
Hey.
That was a lot of breath. A lot of breath before that. Hey.
Watch that corner there, son. It's sharp.
Anything else you want to say?
Yes. Thank you for listening to my Daddy and Mommy podcast.
Oh,
sounds so stuffy.
Thank you, buddy.
He sounds so stuffy.
My little congested son.
Thank you for listening.
It's caring.
Yes, it is.
But don't share germs.
No, you don't.
Okay, let's get to the social medias.
All right, social media. You can find me on Instagram, Mickey Styles IG. You can find me on TikTok, Mickey Styles _27. You can find me on Facebook, Mickey Styles Salon. Ooh, I sound so congested too, but it's okay. I'm gonna get better whenever, because I gotta kill it at Song Association whenever we do that again.
That's 2 weeks from now.
Okay, I'm gonna be fully
assemble
recouped.
your crew.
I'm gonna be fully recouped by then.
Next week is we doing the cards. We getting back to the cards.
Cool.
So forget all my other socials. Go to TikTok and search for R.P and go watch my content because the skits that I have put up so far are good. I need to film some more. My mental health wasn't the best, so I haven't done anything since, but I do have some more stuff that I'm going to put out. I just don't know what yet, and I'm going to find the time to do it.
Speaking of mental health, this is Black Mental Health Awareness Month as well.
A word?
It is.
Now I got to find my Black mental health consultant so I can get my Black mental health in order.
Amen.
Hey, that was fresh off the dome. Thank you for the inspiration. You can find us everywhere. You find your podcast. You can also go to patreon.com/YUpod and consider being a financial member of the YU crew. We actually do have our stuff came in. God,
yes.
I lost my train of thought. Our stuff came in
for our Patreon.
That's right.
Members.
So pretty much, because I have to edit this and like immediately put this up because it's got to go out for midnight. On Patreon, you guys should have gotten a notification from me by now saying, "Hey, I need your info so I can send you some stuff." So that's coming. Other than that, we love you guys. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. For Michaela,
have a good week, folks.
And Alfonso, close the door, AD. You're letting all that Teen Titan sound come in. We bid you a good day and adieu. Remember to wash your hands. Please consider still wearing a mask, but if not, at least go get vaccinated because the Delta variant of COVID is still around. Like it's still getting out there, getting after people. It's not as safe as you think it is. Love each other, hug each other, get after your dreams.
Yes.
If we gonna win,
we're gonna win as a winner.
And if we gonna lose as losers and not as quitters. We love you. We appreciate you. And we gonna have to clean his nose. We gonna see you next time.
Bye.